The headlines we're seeing right now are just absolute insanity. Take a look at, for example, this right here. BlackRock Senior Portfolio Manager on US January jobs report says it's time for investors to buy the front end of the US Treasuries curve. Because basically things did not come out the way as was expected, I should say. And I think that's like a little trend that's going on. Blockbuster US jobs report turns slowdown narrative on its head. Employment jumped 350,000 in January, exceeding all estimates. Strong hiring is likely to delay Federal Reserve rate cuts. But at the same time, over on the Bank of England, opens prospect of rate cuts in 2024 if inflation eases. And why do I say that all is kind of crazy right now? Well, because in the background, Wall Street gets reality check as Powell saps fast rate cut bets, together of course with all this. And that's what caught prices off guard ever so slightly for a little bit. But as you can see from the price right now, we are recovering like nothing happened. But partially that's also because things like Meta are just in insane mode. I'm telling you, things are in insane mode over on the traditional finance side. And that always extrapolates to crypto. We'll get into that in just a second. Meta's $200 billion surge is the biggest in stock market history. And so you think that's all good and positive, and that means that we're flowing up, so that's going to continue. Yeah, but then in the background, we also have got JP Morgan quants warning of a .com style concentration in the US stocks. Warning, and I mean, we've been seeing all the news with regards to banks as well, right? Hopefully you guys have been over on Twitter. An example is this article. A $560 billion property warning hits banks from New York to Tokyo. Lenders face debt maturities, lower values after thaw in deals. Multifamily also a focus following change in New York rent law. The long story short is, as of this point right now, nobody knows what the frick is going on. Nobody knows if this is such a bullish indicator and things are going to start going bullish and nice from here on forward, or if things are crumbling down right now as we speak. I mean, come on, let's face it. From every single angle, it looks as if we should be facing a massive cliff and start just rolling down the hill like a freaking snowball. But the numbers are not showing it. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon also said the US economy is speeding towards a cliff as debt continues to mount. But once more, looking at the numbers, yeah, debt is not doing so good, but the S&P, most indices and most, well, I guess the job, most of the numbers, they're still extremely positive, which is interesting. Now, we have described before the impact of the bullish S&P on Bitcoin. And again, you can take this with a grain of salt because it's never happened that the S&P hit an all-time high and then went into a correction for extremely long since Bitcoin came around. But perhaps if you look back at 2007, 2008, if Bitcoin was around at that time, this would not have worked. But for as far as we've seen right now, the S&P hits an all-time high, Bitcoin hits an all-time high about a year later. And that happened time and time and time again. And since the S&P just made a new all-time high, and as it stands right now, is actually continuing towards the upside like every single time previously, with a slight correction afterwards though. Every single time it hits an all-time high, there is a pretty juicy correction afterwards, which right now we have not seen for the S&P just quite yet. But here on the left, the yellow bubbles or orange bubbles are every time the S&P hits an all-time high. You can see that at this point right here, it was a little local top at the time when the S&P hit its all-time high, and when the S&P did not make any crazy decisive moves, Bitcoin actually fell down for a little bit. But over the next few months, it was just up and up and up. And I still hold that quite dearly. Now, before we move on, guys, by the way, make sure you press that like button if you haven't done it yet. I always try to make it clear, every single like matters. So if you think, oh, I don't have to press it, make sure you do if you want to support the channel. I appreciate it a ton. But continuing on, I think this is also rather interesting. If you just take a look at how the Bitcoin price has performed every single cycle, I think one of the most interesting, most fascinating things becomes just how close in terms of performance it is every single time, just how relatively the same they are except for the 2011, 2013, I guess, cycle. But really, just looking at the numbers, it's really quite safe to assume that we are right now on the verge of greatness, but we're not anywhere close to those crazy, crazy high numbers. And when people ask me for Dusty, what are your number 5 best coins? What are your top coins? I'll do a video on some of the coins I'm looking into right now that I think are extremely popular. I'll do a video on that just in a few hours, I think. Maybe tomorrow, but I think in a few hours I'll be doing a video on that. But the thing is, guys, right now we're in a time where, yes, you can buy a ton of different coins and they'll make you tons of money over the next year or two, but we're not in that euphoria phase where anything you buy just goes crazy. So what I'm looking for right now is mostly the momentum stash, meaning I look for what's going great, I try to buy in, gather along with the hype, and either prepare myself for airdrops or use those funds again to just stack for the longer term. People in a bull markets get very short-sighted, don't think about the next 5 years, they only think about the next couple of weeks or months, and that's why I'm telling you right now to dial back a little bit. Understand this is not a game for just 1 year. You're supposed to build wealth and build it over time, not in a single click, because otherwise you're more likely to lose everything again, I personally think. But before we move on, I want to quickly talk about one of the newest, hottest, and most upcoming crypto exchanges called M2. For all of you that do not know, they had a beautiful launch a little bit ago, are based in Abu Dhabi, and have got some massive names on the board. Just read this little section where you can see they've taken some top talent from some massive crypto and exchange companies like, for example, Kraken. And I think for a lot of people in the Middle East, since they've been cracking down on crypto exchanges a bit, it's extremely comforting and extremely nice to have a place that feels trusted. And I'd say it's a very beginner-friendly crypto exchange. A lot of advanced features might not be there yet because, well, it's extremely new. But after you make an account, for example, and you want to get yourself some Bitcoin, just take a look at how easy it is. I press get, and there's a button to buy some Bitcoin with card or deposit it or to simply convert. So there's not all these fancy, crazy charts just quite yet. I believe they will eventually come. Or rather, let me rephrase, it's there, but I'd say their main focus is not on this section. I think it's mostly on just making sure people that are new into crypto can find an easy way in and potentially an easy way out. But if I have to be honest, I think where they really stand out the most, even though this is always a surprising area to me, is their earn product because it's just so extremely high. You can see if you play around with their token a little bit, up to 10% on almost every single crypto. Okay, on a lot of cryptos, I should say. And I honestly think they might just be paying that out of pocket for right now, or might be giving it back from the trading fees which they earn. Obviously, there's no native yield on Bitcoin, but there are more and more DeFi Bitcoin things popping up every now and then, where they pay you back for trading fees, for example, within these DEXs or staking protocols. I wanted to say lending protocols, actually. But yeah, massive return. And I think that's one of the craziest features right now. Even flexible, it's pretty chill. So yeah, if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link down below. Just check it out with the link down below. You will need to KYC if you want to use this to the fullest extent. But if you're in the MENA region, this might be something nice for you. Just check it out. And so when people ask me, how do you become a crypto millionaire? My answer is always pretty simple. You make sure that you are adequately prepared for when the moment arrives. And in this case, all you've got to do is just learn. I personally think the macro is pretty important. If the macro, meaning the stock market, for example, switches up, this time it could be different for crypto. I look at that, I analyze that, and boom, make decisions based on what happens there. Because I personally think if you don't, you're stupid. If everybody over in the indices world, in the TradFi, is panicking, but they're not looking for Bitcoin, the safe haven for some reason, and it just continues on with this direct correlation it's always had, yeah, we might have to delay the bull market by a bit. And of course, I'm keeping that as a consideration, which is why I think following the news with very big bunny ears there can be quite beneficial. But obviously, I'm also looking at new altcoins every single day. There are so many altcoins with 100x or even 1000x potential. But if I'm being honest, the probability of you finding the right one is, I'd say, 1 in 10. Yeah, meaning if 10 of you are in a little group, all just putting some money into some coins, which one is going to 100x over the next few weeks? Yeah, out of the group of 10, one will actually turn $1,000 into $100,000 in like a month or two. Those odds are pretty freaking amazing because you can amplify you being that one of the 10 by understanding, first of all, that 8 out of 10 won't even bother. They will listen, but they won't actually go for it. The other 1 out of 10, right, the other half that's not winning, will look into it and will act, but doesn't really know where to go. And the last 1/10, the winner section, they're really on it, you know, because you got to be on it or lucky. Anyway, I think launch pads are one of the best things that are in crypto right now. If you really know what to do with these launch pads and you've got everything set, meaning you've got your proper KYC, because for some countries it's more difficult to do, let's be honest. You've got some funds to buy the launchpad token to be able to get an allocation, or you just get lucky. because Bybit, for example, and so many other actually exchanges or launchpads nowadays have sort of a lucky draw where it's not about the amount of money you've got, it's just about getting lucky. That's of course more beneficial. But, and this is one thing a lot of people don't understand, every single one of the coins you see right here, and most coins in the top of the ranks, even if you're starting out with a very little bankroll, could make you crazy tons of money. To elaborate on that, there are people right now with $100 to their name that will make their first $1 million within a year. How? Well, for example, they figured out the art of leverage. Some of you guys might say, Dusty, leverage is dangerous. And I'll say, yeah, not everybody's going to be able to do it, but some people will. And often I think you've got this mindset, a lot of people do, of, yeah, somebody can, but it won't be me. And I understand that so well, but I want you guys to comprehend this idea that what somebody else is doing, you could probably do too. You're not too stupid to make crazy sums of money in crypto. You're not too old. You're not too busy for it. It's not all that hard. But to kind of end it on a little fun twist, let me know down below what your most exciting altcoin is right now. Right now, what I'm mostly focusing on is the Solana meme coins. But I will say that I think many people, again, I keep doing this, underestimate just how much money you can make in this crypto space. Theoretically speaking, in stocks and indices as well. But a good example is, I've been telling you guys just how much I was buying at $39.6 thousand. To put it into perspective for a little second, let's say that the Bitcoin price went up 15, 20% from that point. Can you understand how that small move can make people, and makes people, millions upon millions of dollars? Hopefully you guys understand that. Hopefully understand that some people, all they need is a 1% move and they can retire 10 people. But some others, they want a 1 billion X because they're just starting out with $20 and are not willing to put in the effort to learn about all these other ways to leverage money in a more proper way. But if you're farming these airdrops, right now a couple new ones have just been announced. I've made tutorials for so many of them, and most of them, the starting cost is very little. I tell people do it because that's a way in which you might get yourself a couple tens of dollars, couple $100 worth for free. And if you really got nothing, those couple tens or couple $100 really count. I'm gonna go on a tangent for too long. I'm gonna end it off here. Just know, there's so much cool stuff here. And if things repeat as they've done throughout every single cycle previously, oh, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to witness so much crazy action that you're gonna shit your pants. I'm already telling you right now. I've posted it on Twitter earlier that once the real bull market hits, right, it's gonna be extremely hard for you to sleep because you know that, yeah, your money goes up 50% overnight, but next day it might be down 50% again. Or you might go to bed and seeing $100,000 in your stash and you wake up with $43,000. If your heart can handle that, you're ready. That's about